Apparently we're all in full agreement, Demo.
I hate it here.
You love it.
It's always me. Why me? Why always me?
We did just gloss over the social vote there. It was on screen for what felt like only a second, but I got a snapshot of it, and I think I'm right in saying that it was 65% of the social vote was going toward DarkZero here on this one. I think that obviously they're going to be favourites coming into this, but personally, I can't pick a winner between these two. I think it's going to be a hotly contested match. We've just seen Cloud9 play earlier on Cafe, and even before that, we saw Cloud9 playing on Clubhouse against BDS this morning as our first game, and they've managed to get 10 rounds combined over the course of those previous two games, 5 rounds in either one. So by no means clear-cut affairs there against BDS and against G2. Both teams having to dig deep to come away with the victories there. So for Cloud9, they could really do with a win here. It is going to be much needed for them. Obviously, we're still yet to decide on who is going to be removed from Group A, and while this game bears some relevance to that, the game that we're going to be looking toward to really decide that is BDS versus Cyclops later on. But this, of course, has implications when it comes to seeding, Demo.
Yeah, we look at the bottom 4 teams inside of Group A. Currently G2, DarkZero, Cloud9, and Cyclops. I would say for the most part, their games have been very scrappy. I think every team here has struggled with finding who they want to be this tournament, struggling with a bit of identity crisis, and it's kind of shown in their gameplay. This is a big chance for DarkZero. Like Darren Kick said, the big advantage that DarkZero has is they have 3 games in hand over the other teams right now. There is still potential for DarkZero to nab 4th place if they win all their games. A little bit of reliance on other fixtures as well, but still possible.
We're going to be going into this one now, then. DarkZero starting us off on the ground floor. Downstairs in kitchen, the bans, Demo. Thatcher, Valkyrie from DarkZero, and an Ashe and Melusi ban from Cloud9. Could be a little bit of targeting going in there. We know that NGR is very good when it comes to being the good old Ashe main, and maybe Cloud9 just saying that they don't really want to deal with that, happy themselves to use other means. I think I'm looking at the lineup, I'm thinking of not. I'm thinking of Twitch, you know, these are things that you can start to interchange for, you know, when you're looking towards some more of those fragging roles. Sure, you're going to miss out on a little of that soft destruction, but still it's a choice that they have been willing to make.
A little bit surprised that we're not seeing any denial for DarkZero. Usually this kitchen, whenever you're dealing with a Thatcher ban, becomes Fort Knox all of a sudden. You cannot get through these walls if they have mute jammers on them, if they're electrified up with either the bandits or the Kides. And a little bit surprised to see DarkZero not bring any of that. They've went for much more of a control kind of hold, where they're trying to cover the entirety of the bottom floor, utilizing rotations that you can have that can feed through in towards the kitchen, out in towards Red Corridor. We see the Iruni again, an operator that has been featured quite a bit for her big debut now on the first international stage for her. And I think we've seen some good moments. I think the setup more than anything is why she's been brought. Punch out the walls is going to be handy, of course. We see the denial for a lot of rotations for attackers. You can just fire on a laser gate and you're in. I can't stop doing at this event. I can't.
It's addictive. As soon as you start on the laser gate,
He's
you can't stop. It's not a surrogate anymore, it's a laser gate. Eclipse, he's going to find the first one. As we see the Zofia fall. A kill that's going to go fairly unresponded, I think. Maybe just challenging onto that bakery double door, and no one there really in a position from Cloud9 to do anything about that. Not really ideal to be losing such a large portion of your soft destruction there. You're going to be looking toward that to deal with things like those cameras from Maestro.
What's Harper up to? Thinking of a push down gold stairs, but now just backs away. Cloud9, they have that mid-floor control and they will start redecorating the site, but because of the way the setup from DZ has occurred, nobody is in a position to really get caught out by that vertical pressure ollie. They're off-site, they're trying to hold in for the retake, very similar to what Empire did earlier as well whenever they were playing on Cafe. Just don't put anyone on the site, you play for the retake.
And that makes things increasingly more difficult when you've lost your Zafira as well, because the Zafira is down there to try and find these rotation kills, trying to find these angles that can be worked with the defenders feeling the pressure. Static, what are you doing? He snuck himself all the way on into the site. NJR is not sleeping on that one though. There's going to be an evil eye on that default location. This one's looking like a solid round here from DarkZero to start things off. Currently in a 5 versus 2. MV Taylor desperately drops himself down there into Freezer. Skies finds another. It's looking like it's shaping up to be a flawless as the Toxic Babes continue to rain on in. There's a yokai drone there for MV Taylor as well. He's got everybody in the world knows where he is at this moment in time, and there's only 8 seconds left to play. Skies goes for a little bit of an aggressive swing there, but it's backed up by Hyper, peeking in pairs, and that secures the first round for DarkZero.
Rough position to be in, Ollie. I mean, everything in the kitchen sink was being thrown at him. But DZ very comfortable in their setup. Cloud9 trying to go for what basically they went for against G2. Taking in towards the mid floor, dropping down, securing that diffuser. But DZ, their setup, like we talked about, they don't have to worry. Nobody's in the bomb site. Nobody's going to be caught out. There is a myriad of denial. You have the smokes, the Maestro, the Echo, everything going in favor of DZ. And I think a big thing of why they had that round a lot easier than what it probably would be, they got the opening kill.
They managed to get the opening kill, and they were also able to keep control of those power positions. DZ, a team that we often talk about being a very well-structured team, and that planning and the way that they deploy and where they place their utility often works quite well for them. That's exactly what we saw there inside of that round. We saw them being able to deny the plant. They had so much information as to where this push was coming from. And Cloud9, you've got to question that knock play. You've got to question it from Static there. Why is he pushing on in when he knows that there's things like an Echo? So there's going to be yokai drones. There's a Maestro. There's going to be evil eye cameras. You can't just go in and try and plant default.
But he's a Nook. You can just be invisible.
No, like... he was known to be there. This is the crazy thing.
I get where they're coming from. They're trying to bring the Nook, stop the Echoes and the Maestros from seeing him. But the main issue is they didn't have the angles covered. NGR just had the straight line up, ran through, dead. No issue from DZ. I think a lack of pressure from anywhere that wasn't just the hatch. They literally pushed from the hatch, and that was it. There was no pressure coming down from red, no pressure on gold. They let DZ set up the way they wanted to.
DZ having the run of their teeth there. We are just in a short little break here as we're hitting a quick rehost. One of the players was experiencing some problems, so we apologise for that. But I can see on the screen that we have got everybody into the lobby. We're, of course, going to do the final checks before throwing back on in.
Yeah, ready to go. Just let everyone know what might happen today and what's still to come today. We have the big match for Cyclops that could decide if they stay or if they go. They are up against BDS. Currently... joint first place, first and second for Empire and BDS at the moment. If Cyclops beat BDS, then this is where the fun begins. Ollie, we could see Cyclops push now in with a third win in towards your 8th, your 7th position. G2 then would be back down. So would Cloud9. DZ would also be overtaken. That Cyclops game is massive because it more or less depends on how everything else plays out. If Cyclops just goes and loses to BDS, then that's a very easy outcome. But if they do it, which is a big ask from them, keep that in mind against BDS, then perhaps Cloud9 could be on the receiving end of going home.
I think that's what makes this game so much more exciting because it sets up then for the games later on this afternoon. It's the schedule's worked out beautifully with the way that everyone's fallen because these games now just mean so much for these two teams. You know, DarkZero, they haven't played as many games as everybody else. They've not had as big a days earlier on inside of the Group A play days, so this is their day really to come in and get some games under their belt. They're going to want to start things off strong here on Cafe. They have started strong with a good basement defense, good defense downstairs in kitchen, should I say. And now they are moving things on up, taking us to reading room. Not fancying that top floor demo.
No, mixing it up. Going for another bomb site now. Not opting for that top floor like you said. This is much more of the third bomb site we're used to seeing more than anything. Sure, fireplace and the mining exists, but do we see it all too often? Not really all. It's a bit of a rare one. But, I mean, DZ, I think have been known for a team outside of NA to try new things, and certainly a mining defense could be one that just keep a little bit secretive from all of us.
I guess it depends on how much they really don't want to play that top floor and how well they do on the defense. You know, they might be forced there if top floor really isn't somewhere that they want to try and mess around with. You can see we've got a clash being played by Mint.
Very aggressive.
It's going to be doing a lot here to burn time. We can already see just how much this has slowed Cloud9 down. They've played a minute of the round so far, and we're only now getting drone intel in. They know that the clash is going to be there, so they can't commit and drop as freely as they would like. A very comprehensive hold of the top floor here from DarkZero, and it's going to do a lot to eat up time.
The only thing that Mint needs to be worried about is potential Sophia stun. That would be the biggest worry in that position. If C9 can coordinate, then that could be a very easy pick, and a great one at that as well. Nova able to get the first kill. It's going to be NJR down. That rookie player for DarkZero. His big first international event, Ollie. He's done okay for the most part, but a lot of potential for him to go pretty big today.
It definitely is. Mint had to drop there due to the pressure, but he's been able to rotate himself up to white stairs, and he might be able to assist Hyper here, but no, Hyper chooses to drop off as well. Still, there's been plenty of time wasted here by DarkZero as they've managed to eat up 2 minutes. Cloud9 now have to work with. Mint's actually got himself downed. How has that happened? Nade sailed on in from Pixel. He could be in a position to get retrieved here.
Static missed the second nade, which I think is a big thing that is really going for DarkZero. Static will run down and able to give that information. Of course, he cannot kill him because he's simply a clone. Let's see if he wants to approach it now. He's not sure if he wants to. Eclipse will find Shyle, and now it is a 4 versus 4, but Min is about to bleed out. Nobody in a position to actually pick him up. I'm surprised that they've let Clash bleed out.
Clash have been very handy come this final 30 seconds. It now gives the edge to Cloud9 in terms of man count. A pre-placed C4 up on the ceiling there from Skies, but he is getting droned there. I'm not sure if that drone did actually see him. Going to go for the detonate, but moves and repositions, gets caught out there by Nova, the diffuser carrier. Nova now going to be looking to try and confirm this plant as Eclipse is looking to scramble and make his way back on in. Static takes down Hyper. Eclipse is going to find a down, but the plant is confirmed. He's now in a 3 versus 1, goes for the swing, but Nova has the intel. Good communication there on the side of Cloud9, seeing an opportunity and getting that diffuser down.
Yeah, C9 doing well to get that opening kill, put the pressure on DZ early. That nade onto the Clash was massive from Static. You have to credit him. The Clash was a big part of the DC strategy, being able to move around, be able to spot out information, feed that back to these hungry DZ players. You just want to get as many kills as they can, but not working out for them. Overall, I think C9 played it as basic as what you could get. An early clear in towards the top floor, moving down, bit of vertical action, and finally just planting default.
Cloud9 did a really good job there to remove Clash from the equation. Clash just was not a factor inside of that round. We saw a little bit more time being spent on the roof. I commented on it at the time. It was around 50 seconds that was spent on the roof droning, and they knew that they couldn't drop straight away because there was a Clash there. That is it. After that, Mint gets naded on white stairs after he drops and goes for a rotate, and then he's just left to bleed on out. So almost the entirety of that round was played at a 4 versus 5, especially with the opening kill coming in onto NJR there. It's just going to make things so difficult for DarkZero. They're almost fighting that at a 5 versus 3.
Another rehost. We're being blessed with them today, Ollie. Already 2, but it is 1-1. It's early yet. I don't think momentum is playing a big part. I know that me and you like to talk about, oh, the break's been used to kill the momentum. For either side, it's back and forth so far.
Yeah, both teams looking pretty reserved here inside of the player cams. Neither one wanting to get too ahead of themselves at this moment in time, and there's good reason not to. They're sitting at 1 round apiece. I do believe we're going to be jumping back into the game very shortly.
Would you like a quick SI question?
Give me an SI question, Demo. I know you've got these prepped.
I do. I haven't had the chance to use them. I haven't had any rehost. Everyone can play along at home. Here, let's see who the real Siege fans are. This is a very old question. Let's see who has been here since the start. Back at SI 2017, we seen our first ever invitational with our PC teams. One team that was invited was the first ever Latin America team to really shine through, and that was Santos Dexterity. Can you name 2 players from that roster who are still playing here at SI today?
Attackers need to locate.
How and why do you put me under this much pressure, Demo?
2 players. Okay, I gave you a clue. They're from LATAM. 2 players who played way, way back then, and they're still playing here today.
Is it as obvious as who I might be thinking?
Have a guess.
I'm going to call Nesk.
Incorrect.
I'm going to call... Are you really putting the pressure on here, Demo? I don't like it. I dislike the amount of pressure. Please put me out of my misery.
Correct answer. The 2 I was looking for was Cameraman and Astro.
Cameraman and Astro.
The classic duo.
Oh.
Come on, LATAM boy, come on.
You're pulling a question out from 4 years ago, Demo.
Well, you should have been there.
4 years ago.
Should have been here. All right, let's dive in and see how DarkZero responds after a quick loss on their defense last time. And Ollie, we're seeing it. The mining has came through.
It has. DarkZero really not wanting to go upstairs.
Didn't want it.
Not wanting to go back into reading either. Feeling as though something is obviously up. No clash this time. Instead, Mint is going to be on the mirror.
So, this is a site we don't see all too often. From what I've seen, how this bomb site has been played for the most part is a lot of pulse. As we can see, pulse has been brought by Skies. One thing you have to remember, most teams will probably think, oh, we can jump into mining and simply plant. It's very, very difficult to hold. In train, there's a few angles that you have to kind of worry about. Multiple crossfires can be established from attackers, especially if they have pillars control, but it is destructible. Pulse from below, playing inside a kitchen is a big thing that we see a lot. I don't see DZ going for that playstyle. They're more orientated towards the east side of the map and not really interested in kitchen, and that might cost him as now all of a sudden Cloud9, they're storming in towards train, and Mint is down. He is out for the count, and this is where C9 have full bomb site control. All they need to do is take the plant, and they've done that. A 3 versus 4 DZ on the back end of this. How well can they retake? They need to move fast. 30 seconds is not a lot of time to work with 4 players still left alive for C9. There's the C4 kill from Skies. He should have been there earlier, but he gets the kill nonetheless. Now he's going to make sure he checks the stairs before he pushes up. Nova will find NJR. Here comes Skies. He's going to have to go out the window. Is he ready for it? More angles being held from above. And Skies in panic mode. Where's he going? He's walking straight into the bomb site. C9 have let him get there. Skies with the triple hyper finds one. He's sticking the diffuser. Statics above. Can he find it? He's trying to floor bang him, but he can't. Skies has pulled off a mastery of a play.
Skies with a huge clutch there for DarkZero, doing a lot of work on the pulse, finds himself the C4 kill, able to rotate back into the site. You can see him calm, cool, and collected there inside of the player cam around that. Let's be honest, Cloud9 dominated in the early part. A quick plan, quick site control, getting themselves in there, but unable to hold it inside of the post. That was the C4 that was massive. MV Taylor still being inside at that point was a bit of a problem. Yeah. Static upstairs there, getting caught out with no ammo inside of the primary, unable to open sufficient vertical angles.
Should have been a C9 round. Should have been. I think NV Taylor getting caught out with the C4, if he was above Ollie, if he was in the top floor and he had sledged open the hole, that would have been much better setup from C9, because that's kind of like the last line that you have to hold. If there's somebody above holding the diffuser, 9 times out of 10, we see them win it. That's the 1 out of 10.
Unfortunate stuff there for Cloud9. It's never nice to get the plant down and then not come away with the round.
And it was a good take as well, being able to see where DZ was set up, which was nowhere near the bomb site. Granted, everyone was kind of towards east side, which is a little bit strange as well. I don't really know why there's so much pressure and not enough in the kitchen. Like I said, kitchen, it's so destructible. You need to have your pulse down there.
I think you play that round out again under the same conditions, and C9 win it more often than not with the way that DarkZero was set up and just how far away they were. But you can't take away from the clutch that Skies was able to get there for him and his team. All that is enough, to take them back downstairs into kitchen.
Yeah.
We've seen 3 rounds so far, Demo, in their entirety. We've seen 3 attempted plants and 2 plants go down. Cloud9 very focused here on getting that diffuser down, and for that to be their win condition here.
C9, a round that you should have had, you lost. Can you bounce back and show us what you're made of? DZ have another defense for their beloved kitchen hold, and I doubt DZ would change too much. I mean, their setup is pretty good. Plenty of denial, which I think has been the big thing to take away from SI so far with the kitchen defense, is it's very, very tough to really successfully get that plant down.
Well, it's the same lineup coming out again from DarkZero as when we saw them play it in round number 1. They're going to have the Maestro Evil-Eye cameras. You can just see it there on the side that's going to be looking over toward the default spot. They've got the Echo drones as well that are going to be smattered around,
Where's their smoke
no doubt.
there?
In fact,
Where's
there's
he set up?
2 Evil-Eyes just in that exact location. They're investing quite heavily into the freezer push. Sky's still playing inside of Christmas as well.
That's a position G2 played a lot whenever they were up against C9. We've seen C9, again, pressure the exact same area towards this freezer hatch. This is where everything is being gained from Cloud9. You're playing your smoke where people probably think, oh, why is he out and about? Why is he not in the bomb site? Why is he not in a position just to smoke the default plant? Well, whenever everyone drops in towards the freezer, you already have a hefty amount of utility. Like you said, Echo drones, Maestro cameras set up ready for that. A big avenue that C9 like to try and force is that white hallway. If you have the smoke sat and ready whenever it gets to the 30-second mark, he can stall them out, and it just chokes them up into a massive bottleneck, and then you have like 5 C9 players all in freezer.
I'd really like to see Cloud9 sort of see this setup and then do something about changing it and look to push from a different angle, maybe look to take control over in VALKYRIE. We see Envy Taylor threatening to do that now as he's opening up some of the floor on that side, but you just know that the drop is going to come now through that freezer hatch.
One thing that I said that I would love to see from C9 for this bomb site attack is to try and have a little bit more pressure on Red. I think that's what they're really lacking. You cannot allow DZ to have these angles. I would love to also see a potential C9 rotate down towards the double window outside, and then you have that clear line of sight being able to stop the smoke doing what he does best, and that is delay the entire round.
As it stands, we're going to see a hatch drop come through now. Skies finds himself his first over onto Nova. He's got Toxic Babe canisters to toss it out, but no, he's going to miss it. He's actually going to hit his own shield. Draws for the shotgun, still in a good position to try and make a rotation here at some point. 1 kill is found, however, over onto Mint, and that is going to be the Echo down. Static has to stick the plant now. The kills have all come up for C9. Harper finds the last one. What an explosive end there, Demo, to a round that DarkZero had every right to win.
I was just scratching my head thinking, C9, they're going to do it again. They're just going to bottle up and DZ are going to take full advantage. But there was one thing I didn't calculate, Ollie, and that was Harper. Just runs in and finds 3 kills. C9, they look as... The thing with C9 is whenever they're playing their rounds out, you think, okay, they've lost this, and all of a sudden they've won it. I don't know what it is.
I'm sorry, that last kill was disgusting. He had no business getting that.
Pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good.
Unbelievable stuff from Harper there. Rocking the good old F2 on Twitch.
Temperamental beast.
Gun that is known to shred in the right hand. It's leveled us up at 2 rounds apiece here. DarkZero giving it another go back downstairs, and they have made some adjustments, Demo. This speaks to a little bit more of a roam game. Going to be bringing Vigil, Mute, and Mozzie. The classic roaming duo. Almost the Deathly Hallows of roamers.
There's Bryce, big DarkZero supporter. Let's get the dubs. Double L. What do you think, Ollie, so far for DZ? What is this brewing for them?
It's pretty close to call at the moment. I think an advantage that Cloud9 have got at the moment is that they've been able to pick up 2 rounds on the attack. Cafe can be a difficult map to attack onto. They've been very plant focused, save that last round, but there was attempts to get that plan down. We saw an attempt made, I believe, by Static to actually stick the diffuser at a time, but Harper just came up with all of the kills before that could happen. DarkZero seem to be responding here with a little bit of aggression of their own. They've recognised that, you know, we can't really deny the plant if they're just going to flood us and be able to get all the kills, so let's try and bring the fight to them a little bit earlier on into the round, chip them down in terms of man count, and then take that advantage back to the site, retreat, and we've still got things like C4s and Toxic Babe canisters to use.
Yeah, if Hyper can maybe string a kill onto Nova, eliminate the hard breach, that's going to be very, very tough for C9 to do anything from that, especially whenever they've been so reliant on that freezer hatch being opened up. Let's see where Cloud9 want to play with it. Seems to be a standard top-down clear. Of course, probably realizing that Hyper is out and about, not in his usual position, the bomb site, and Of course, they're going to have set up appropriately for that. And there's a pre-play C4 on towards the freezer, and that is going to be a Gemini. He's lucky that he didn't blow it. That would have been a wasted kill. And just see if he feeds out the information. I wonder if Hyper's going to get a kill. If he gets the Habana as well, oh, that'd be nasty, Ollie.
Really would have seen Nova be the sole hard breacher brought every round so far by Cloud9. They're only choosing to bring the Hibana, and it's doing them a good job. They're very focused in what they want to take. They've got a clear idea of how they want to play, and that is, you know, they just want to try and get Freezer Hatch open, and that's all that they really need to be able to do that with. Kind of strange we've not seen any Cade play from DarkZero to sort of slow that down a little bit as well, because
mute though.
It is such a common area that Cloud9 want to try and take onto, but DarkZero kind of, in previous rounds, going for the approach of, well, we'll let them have the hatch, we're just going to deal with them when they drop. This time, they're trying to deal with them a little bit more head-on, and it is slowing down Cloud9 a little bit.
Yeah, DarkZero have realized that a lot of the drone work for C9 is really enabling them to have these clean takes of all the information they can gain. If you put in place a Mozzie mutant, oh, Harper runs out of ammunition, pulls out the pistol, and Nova is there to save him. Harper, after this game, you go and shake Nova's hand.
Nova coming in there just to keep his teammate alive. Poor old Hyper getting caught out. Static finds a frag onto Mint as well. No response up until this point from DarkZero. NJR and Skies have a lot to do here inside of 35 seconds to try and keep hold. Skies does have all of his utility. He's got 3 Toxic Babe canisters left, but in reality, is that going to be enough going up against such a man deficit? NJR now looking to challenge onto the bottom of White Stairs. He's currently playing inside of the bar, but he's got just about every angle under the sun to try and check. Static hits him for a double kill. Skies now in the 1 versus 5, getting flashed out. Does manage to avoid all of those stuns. Gets himself 2 kills with the SMG-11. Draws for the shotgun. Oh, desperate times, desperate measures. Skies, he finds 2, but they're going to be impactless. The flood from Cloud9, too good.
Just a raging wave of zombies running at Skies. Can't do anything with that. It was great to get the 2 kills, but the ammunition, the SMG-11, not a lot of it. DZ went with the approach of this heavy roam game, being able to destroy the information game that Cloud9 have done so well throughout the course of this tournament. One thing that we've always highlighted about Cloud9 is they've been able to get the opening kill because their drone work has been extremely strong. If you try and deny the strong point of a team, that's always going to be a good thing for your team. Didn't work for them. I think they kind of lacked the refrag, and maybe you could make an argument that there were certain positions that you would have liked to see players in. It was a little bit more disjointed than what I think we're used to seeing from DZ.
Yeah, I think DarkZero just sort of went for a let's try and get kills out there on the roam kind of a strategy, and it really didn't work out too well for them. Cloud9 adapted very well, though, because they didn't just bull rush into their default take for that. They recognized there was more things to deal with. And with all of the kills going unresponded, it tells me that DarkZero weren't playing in enough of a buddy system. They weren't in a position to be able to trade off one another. And that ultimately really what came down to hurt them, especially whenever you're leaving somebody in a 1 versus 4. It's always going to be a very difficult task.
I've seen a tweet there, Ollie, saying, name a better combination than Skies and UMP. Beans and toast.
I mean, Skies and the SMG-11 in that last round, he did bits.
I still think beans and toast. Would you not agree?
I think it's maybe a little bit niche demo, honestly.
Beans and toast.
Breeding Room and Fireplace is going to be our site for round number 6. Cloud9 lead currently 3 rounds to 2. Probably going to be looking to make that 4-2 here as DarkZero. They haven't taken us to the top floor 1 single time. They have, however, taken us to train and mining, which was a bit of a weird one. So they're going to be looking to try and come out here at an equal 3-3 split. Cloud9 attacks so far have looked very strong.
Let's see how they move now into this next defense for DZ that they've set up for C9. Those mirror windows, very strong operator, as we know. High ban rate for a reason. Make some sites, Ollie, that aren't the most favorable for defenders, all of a sudden very, very favorable for them. And this one in particular, that long angle right across the long bar is a great one to have, even inside a bathroom. Eclipse has been set up. Oh, but the Twitch drone! Massive work from Harper, who right now, for me, Ollie, has been the saving grace for C9.
MVP there, 5-1, and he's managed to get the Black Mirror canister and shoot it out there with his Twitch drone. just makes that area so much more difficult now. You'd almost rather it was fully reinforced and you had a bulletproof or an evil eye or something on the other side of it, because it's just going to be so difficult to hold on in there. MV Taylor opens up again here with a kill over onto Eclipse. Hyper still trying to play in that cocktail area. He's going to be joined by one of his teammates. It's going to be NJR directly underneath Skylight. We can hear now that the hatch is going to be open there inside of Piano. Nova's going to be looking to try and further pressure over toward that cocktail balcony.
MV Taylor finds another. NJR getting caught out above. Now Cloud9 have all access to the vertical game that they can now put in place. Hyper, a little bit risky here with the C4. Could get caught out if anyone wants to try and challenge him, but just backs away now. 3 versus 5, and only DZ, a position they do not want to be in. They have gifted C9 the control. They have all these angles being opened up, and Skies is right below one of them.
Time running short now for Cloud9. They need to press this numbers advantage that they have got. Nova takes a chunk of damage. He's still playing upstairs inside of Cocktail. A drop is going to be required, and a castle barricade really could slow them down. That's going to be on the doorway into Reading. Sky's going to be playing on the mute this time. I think he's already pre-placed his C4, so he's instead going to be dealing with the MP5. He's going to be able to challenge now onto the doorway. Finds himself one. Can he find the second? Sky's going massive today. Hyper grabs a frag as well. One is brought back in favor of Cloud9, but it is not going to be enough. MV Taylor is now looking to get that plant down, but recognizes it is a matter of seconds until he is pushed. Comes off the plant. And the round is won out by DarkZero on time.
Wow. Skies, massive from him. C9 not checking a very typical position for a defender to be in. That is a big mistake, and it's costed them. They have a big man advantage. 2 men are still alive compared to DZ. Why are we not having one of those players above holding down that position?
Personally, there wasn't enough vertical play inside of that round from Cloud9 for me. They took quite a long time to take control of top floor, but I think they'd got control of top floor quicker than they realized, quicker than the drones could relay that information. I'm not sure if that was down to Mute Jammers eating up a few of the drones or not, but they were moving quite slowly on that top floor. If they were able to make a couple more holes and hold somebody up there to try and cut off some of those rotating players down in the site, could have been a different story.
But the thing is that they have a sledge. They have the vertical game. Why is that not being utilized to its full effect? Very, very strange. Cloud9, just one minor thing not working for them. And we bring back that point, Ollie. C9 are extremely good at finding that opening pick, but they struggle to execute with the man advantage.
Well, we now switch sides. DarkZero, it is their turn to hit us on the attack, and Cloud9, it's their turn to defend. Now, Cloud9 are taking us to somewhere we haven't been yet today. They're going to take us up to the top floor.
Strange to see DZ not bring us there.
I was kind of surprised the way that a couple of the defensive rounds went for DarkZero, why they didn't want to take us up here, especially when things like a mirror are available. You know, you've got so many options here to try and keep control of this top floor. There are many different ways and means you can use to try and achieve that. Let's see how Cloud9 fare.
Lineup from C9. I mean, pretty similar to the operators that DZ were bringing, but they have a Goyo, an operator that DarkZero had no intention of playing, but it will be shown here for the top floor. I think having more shields to... Well, I mean, I was going to say to make up for the lack of a mirror, but mirror's not banned inside of this game. So usually we see Goyo be brought as kind of like a replacement for a mirror window. Mirror's open. Why not just bring her? Yeah, Mirror's someone that DarkZero jumped onto straight away when trying to defend this top floor, even though they were actually defending the top floor to defend the bomb site below. Just how important it can be. A double man drop into the top of red stairs. Mint looking to set up some flank drones and maybe gather a little bit of information. A drone there inside a piano is going to tell him that there's nobody immediately on the stage. Hyper has joined him. DarkZero looking for a pretty standard take here onto this top floor. Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary for them. This is default as you like, and well, I mean, the top floor, there isn't too many ways you can attack it. This is more or less 95% of the time what you're going to see. Everything originates from that red stairs into piano, and you just try and gain as much control as you can. It's a very, very tough. In the early game, defenders can be very, very aggressive, and Static had shown that to us with that opening kill. Eclipsto responds. He is on the Nomad, a very crucial operator to try and stop any flanks happening. There is plenty of that happening on Cafe. But for the meantime, Ollie, going into the 50-second mark, still even.
A lot of aggression being shown by Static there. You've got to question that. You know, sure, he's got the kill, but he is the smoke. That's what you want to be using to try and deny, even if you're just denying ingress at this point and denying attackers from being able to come in so freely. Now the attackers can take a second to breathe, and well, they're going to need it. They've only got 30 seconds. A flood on into the site. Nova picks off Mint. Skies does still have the diffuser in pocket, but it may not even come down to that as the kills start to fly. Skies looking to continually challenge on to Cocktail Balcony, but he's got players on either side. He's now left himself in the 1 versus 3. As Cloud9 find all the kills and find the round.
What? Wow. DZ just trying to brute force their way into the bomb site, but not working out for them. Hyper hot breaching in to the new Balk. And yeah, surprising to see C9 just sit back and pick up those kills. I thought DZ looked actually pretty good with the setup that they had. Maybe Hyper is who they were relying on, but he did lose that engagement. Yeah, a little bit strange from DZ. Maybe a bit of a panic play. I don't know. Wasn't as clean as what we're used to seeing from DZ.
There was just a big overcommitment to the bomb site, wasn't it? I think time was running short. It's fallen into that sort of classic where we're seeing N18s be a little bit short on time on the attack. And they got themselves into a position where they had to just flood on in. I don't think they had a position that they were able to get the plant down in. I believe no smokes available in that round for them to make any sort of use of. So a plant was really going to be quite unlikely there. So much information remained for the side of Cloud9. So much so the round went to Cloud9. Now they take us downstairs to Kitchen as they regain the lead here inside of this map. Going to be looking to try and extend it here now, I'm sure. Much different lineup coming out here, Demo. Harper going to be playing the Cade. It's a question that we asked of DarkZero when they were defending downstairs in Kitchen. You know, is Cade something that may be worth wiggling into that sort of a lineup? Harper is thinking yes. He's actually not going to Cade any of the hatches out. Instead, he's going to be going for these bakery walls. MV Taylor on the Oryx as well, so you're going to be dealing with some unruly roamers there as he's on the top floor.
I'm intrigued, Ollie. Oryx and Cafe makes sense. Plenty of hatches you can climb up. We've seen a little bit of Oryx play on Villa from our LATAM representatives. Let's see if APAC can do it on Cafe. NGR, a bit of a rough game for him, Ollie. Haven't seen the best out of him that we know he has. He was a really hot player coming into the 2021 season for NAL, but not hitting the highs that we expected him to.
NGR going to make his way in pretty quickly here to this top floor. He's going to be met with this roam game, though. He knows that it's there. You can see that by the way that he's pre-firing on through. MV Taylor going to be happy to sit and wait it out here, though. He is joined upstairs by Nova on the Vigil, and Static looks to be coming upstairs as well. Static can find himself in a head-to-head engagement there if he's not careful, but he does dip down those white stairs. A little bit of nade's going to get tossed on through. I don't think it is going to land, no. MV Taylor does, however, choose to drop along with Nova, as they've wasted quite a good portion of the round here.
They have, and still mid-floor control not in favor of DZ. That is where all of the roamers have went from. They went from the top floor all the way down, and honestly, you wouldn't be surprised if they go back to the bomb site, but maybe not. C9, perhaps staying to die, and oh, they're both going to jump out the window through white and back in to the bottom floor. Wow, Cloud9, a great escape.
Truly a great escape there, Demo, making use of Oryx's ability there just to sprint back in a little bit quicker as well, as both players get back to the site safely. Harper unleashes a C4 over onto NJR and manages to find an opener. Sledge down, no more nades, and of course the Caber gone with it. It's going to be left now in the hands of Hyper to open up most of that floor with his breaching charges, sorry, but he hasn't got any of those left either. It looks though as though Hyper is going to try and get a little bit of pressure coming in through the window down at the bottom of bar stairs. Taylor lit inside of the site, downed and finished by Mint. All enough to level things up at 4 apiece, but there's still 35 seconds, and DarkZero, they've got a long way to go.
They do. Mint gonna push down through gold, smokes off the cover through the fog. Will he push? No. Static is holding down the fort. Eclipse falls. Nova trying his best in an off position as well, but that smoke is still lingering. Cannot see anything at all, and somebody has slipped past under the cover of that. Skies has found one, and DZ back in the advantage again. Nova misses the shots, the Jackal is there. Oh, and the blind fire comes out from it. It works, and now Shyle, all down to yourself, big man. What can he do? Absolutely nothing. DarkZero, hold firm. Ollie, scrappy, scrappy, scrappy.
Scrappy stuff there from DarkZero, but they made the best of the situation they were presented with. They spent a lot of time clearing out those roamers, and the game was, well, it felt like the round was almost won there by Nova and MV Taylor because they just managed to waste so much time. But despite Sledge being taken down, there was still sufficient holes vertically for DarkZero to work with. That was enough to grab the kill onto MV Taylor, and then a clever use of the smoke at the bottom of those bar stairs was enough to just cause a little bit of a ruckus, a little bit of confusion. A few kills go in the right direction, and hey, DarkZero level things up.
Tough one for Shyle, who I think at the moment has definitely been a great performer for C9 across their campaign. And I mean, I wouldn't have been out of the lunatic zone to imagine the clutch coming in, Ollie. It's definitely doable for this team that is really taking everything by storm. Some people had big expectations. Some people kind of wrote them off before they even played a game, Ollie.
And Cloud9 have come out here strong, and they've proved that they can take rounds against good teams. I mentioned it earlier, they took 5 rounds off BDS this morning, they took 5 rounds off G2. Neither of those enough to net themselves a win though. They're going to be looking for a win here and now against DarkZero, and with the way that this game is flopping backward and forward, there's a very good chance that they could come away with that. They're now taking us to their third choice site. It's going to be Reading Room. Investing quite heavily inside of this top floor. Nova this time bringing those mirror windows demo.
It's a bit of a weird kind of matchup, Ollie, isn't it? It just seems as if it's there for DZ to get a win, but it's also there for Cloud9 to get a win. Both teams are having mistakes, and both teams are there to capitalize.
If we just look at the kills on the side of DZ, it's probably worth mentioning that Skies is currently 9-3. Absolutely popping off in terms of kill-death ratio. He's the only player that's going positive at the moment. NJR and Eclipse, they've got 1 kill between them. So a little bit of a slower start really on some of the DarkZero players' side, but all of that is still enough for them to be able to achieve 4 rounds here. So if they're able to just get a little bit more maybe out of a couple of those players, then the rounds could start to come quite easily for them. We've seen quite a few rounds that have been very decisive demo. There haven't been those close 1 versus 1s. It's been landslides.
Look at the setup though from Cloud9. Looking at Shyle at the moment, he is inside of bathroom and pretty much locked himself in. He's going to be there behind a deployable shield to shut down the push that will come out from DarkZero. Everything kind of stems from that piano. You need to have that control, and DarkZero certainly doing that. Nova in the mirror window. Look at that angle even that the hatch can get. I think that's going to be Skies on the Habana looking down and trying to hold that. Just layers upon layers. It's like an onion or an ogre.
It really is. It's one of those situations where you want to try and shoot out a little bit of the soft wall on the other side of that reinforced panel just to give yourself a little bit more visibility there. But Sky is feeling like he can't drop here until he has the intel. Who is playing behind that mirror window? Is anybody there? Intel not required though for Hyper and NJR as they're already acting. They find 2 kills, 1 apiece. Shyle and Static both fall. Harper does respond with a refrag over onto NJR. His first kill very short-lived inside of this match.
MV Taylor's also left the top floor, except he's alive compared to his 2 fallen comrades. And let's see if he can do anything on this Frost. 7 assists right now for MV Taylor. Oh, and there's a C4. Harper, that's a big one. And now that has gained momentum back into Cloud9's favor. Missing out on that big kill. That would have been bad for Cloud9, but they make it happen. And now with 30 seconds on the clock, Ollie, DarkZero, they're going to need to move extra fast.
They really are, and speed isn't something that the ITA really has in common with Sledge's Caber. It isn't going to matter because MV Taylor is going to find the frag there over onto Mint. Certainly not enough angles open vertically, and that's all enough to force DarkZero to push down these white stairs. Eclipse, he's going to announce himself as he tosses out a flash and looks to try and push it a little bit further, but it gets swung by Harper and the shotgun sits him down. Sky is left in yet another clutch. And well, it was all too much to ask. MV Taylor picks up that last kill, and Cloud9 start to streak a little bit of a lead here.
Big round from MV Taylor there. Needed to have a good one, and finally it came. A lot of assists not being able to clean up in those engagements, but this time he certainly did that. DZ had a great opener. 2 kills in the beginning and struggling with that time again, Ollie. At the moment, North America, across everyone at the moment from that region, time is not their friend.
It really isn't, Demo. And this sort of comes back to a conversation we had earlier on in and around the split, the halfway point of this game. Is the 3 rounds that Cloud9 got going to be enough here when they were on attack? Because at the moment, it's looking like that might be the case.
DZ using the timeout. Need to regather their thoughts and figure out what is happening to them. Cloud9 at the moment, a bit of momentum, perhaps trying to kill that momentum off Ollie. Still plenty more rounds to come, but DZ want to try and put it to rest and just sweep these remaining ones. Keep in mind, DZ, for them to have any potential of getting top 4 and into that upper bracket, they have to win every single game today. And as we know, with the standings at the moment, DZ, even without the fact of getting top 4, they still need to try and win every single game to make sure they even get into the playoffs.
There's a lot of pressure on all of DarkZero's matchups today, and that makes this tactical timeout even more important. It has just ended. Microphones will go up, and we have to rejoin the action. Cloud9, 1 round away from a match point here. DarkZero trailing. They need to step up their game here on these attacks. They're going to be attacking this top floor again. This is a round that, when we saw it back in round number 7, it went the way of Cloud9.
As it stands, Ollie, C9, they are leading only just by 1 round, but across the stat page, they're actually leading as well in terms of ratings. 4 players from C9, all with a rating above 1.0. 1 single player above a 1.0 rating for DZ, and that is Skies by a country mile. Keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, Skies is having a pop-off game, but it's not enough. You know, it needs a little bit more contribution from some of the other players, and you've got to start asking yourself, is this where the Ashbang comes in? Is this where the mind game starts to come in? Because we are seeing players underperform.
It's one thing that you brought up about the Oxygen versus NIP game. We've seen Oxygen rely very heavily on clutches. If you're playing Siege to rely on one single guy having a clutch every single round, you're doing something wrong.
And it's not always that teams rely on the clutch, it's just that's how the game shakes down, because they'll get a couple of rounds due to a clutch. It is something that happens, and Cloud9 are just better in a lot of the more important ways here in this. They were much better at the time management when they were on attacks. That's probably our biggest criticism here of DarkZero, and it's one of the reasons why they've only been able to pick up 1 round so far. An opening kill this time on to Sile. That could be big here. Hyper going to secure himself one nice and early inside of this round.
Got the opening kill the last round as well, but as we've seen, it didn't really matter for Cloud9. Losing the first engagement or not, they still pulled out a round win. DZ, can they finally get a clean one on the board? DZ, yes, they've won rounds, but have they won it as comfortable as what they would? Probably not, but this could be the difference maker with that opening kill that Hyper has got. Now they have a bit of ground to maneuver in. 1 less person to worry about, and at the end of the day, it is Shile, a very strong presence from Cloud9 so far.
Bit of a stall out here from DarkZero as they calculate their next move. We have pressure in on the top of red stairs. Player's going to be inside of drones, just figuring out exactly what it is that's going on, but there's a mute jammer that's going to stop any further droning for a time. Mint looking over toward Heaven, seeing if he can pick off anybody on side of that cocktail. At the moment, there's nothing really forcing those players to move, but we do have Hyper out there on that rappel. And Hyper could be a bit of a difference maker if he's able to get in this time and actually get some sort of an impact, as we saw him try in round number 7. Could could see something happen here for DarkZero.
This is the same position he was in the last time they attacked the top floor. He swung in, hot breach through, did not have the impact of kills that I think DarkZero were expecting from him. But now this time, maybe it'll work for them. Here we go, the flood into the bomb site will begin. A smoke has missed, and Nova is the first one to open it up. And oh my word, so many C9 kills come out. DarkZero, for the second time this rush, is not working for them. They drop like flies to a swatter. Skies, once again, stuck in the clutch position. 3 players to find, almost finds another. But C9 Ollie, what can we ask of Skies? They're in such a great position right now. All C9 need to do is just wait, let Skies sweat it out, and they will do just that. Cloud9, they see that rush coming from a mile away.
DarkZero really look as though they're out of ideas attacking onto that top floor demo. 2 rounds we've seen it play, and 2 rounds we have essentially seen a rush through that cigar doorway, like shop doorway into bar. It's not enough, it doesn't cut it. You know, where is the pressure coming from other angles? I don't think we even saw a player of DarkZero get themselves into piano. You know, nobody pressuring onto Pixel, nobody on white stairs. Where is this, you know, multi-dimensional push coming from that is needed to attack onto that top floor? Not only did they not defend up there, but they can't attack up there either.
The piano wall wasn't even opened fully. Like, they had no pressure on piano. There is a reason why the pushes work out the exact same way every time if you're attacking top floor, because you literally can only do it that one way. You have to open up red, then you go into piano, you have piano control, and then you execute onto the bomb site. They're trying to miss they're basically trying to miss a step in the entire process. You cannot skip a beat for that attack.
Match point for Cloud9. If you are a DarkZero fan, then fear not. This is a site that DarkZero won the last time we saw it in round number 8. It was a bit of a scrappier round from Cloud9. We saw them commit outside on the roam, and DarkZero came in with an execute that, whilst it wasn't pretty, it got the job done in the dying few moments. We saw some really extended roaming from MV Taylor in particular, Nova. MV Taylor this time isn't on the Oryx, he's going to be on the Mozzie. Maybe further looking to deny some of that information that every attacking team relies so heavily on here in Siege.
Yeah, C9 again going for this aggressive roam game, bringing these operators that you would expect to see out and about, and certainly your Vigil, looking at your Mozzie as well. Bit of information you can also gain if he does have a Mozzie cam, but no, none at the moment. MV Taylor, don't do it, don't think about it. And he was eyeing it up, but that player has since then moved on from that position. It will be Hyper, and I mean, Hyper at the moment has been that big entry for DarkZero. A lot of opening kills for him, Ollie, to be specific. 2 of them so far on the attack.
Looking like it could be another opening kill here for Cloud9 as Mint is down for the count at the top of those red stairs. Not sure if Cloud9 know that they've got him down here. He has in fact just been revived there. He's going to come back on only 20 health.
Oh, this is tense now. Nova, oh, looks away at the wrong time. Missed out on that kill, takes a lot of damage. DarkZero know what they're up against, and Hyper is going to try and get himself in a position to actually cut him off. Oh, but MV Taylor, quick peeks, eliminates Mint. He was the one who was weakened to begin with in DarkZero, and perhaps he's hungry for more.
MV Taylor's still going to be challenging here at the top of Lumber. He's got the accompaniment of Nova as well. Nova finds a frag onto NJR. DZ unable to get through this top floor as time ticks on down. 1 minute and 15 left. 2 kills finally come in. Very much needed. MV Taylor is able, however, to make a full rotation back down to the site and rejoin his teammates there.
Final minute. Both even. 3v3 and DZ. Not a lot of map control from them. They still have the hard breach, which is great for them. They can open up that freezer hatch if needed, and Hyper even going to go above and utilize some of the soft destruction he still has at his disposal. Cloud9 happy enough just to sit back in sight and let DarkZero really sweat it out, and actually go for a bakery side take. DarkZero is very, very late to be going for something like this. Hyper's still above, trying to find anything he can through these angles, but Ollie is looking grimmer by the second for DarkZero.
It really isn't looking good here. Skies is going to get himself into an engagement here if he's not too careful. He's going to place his X-Karos out on the wall. Sile's got a chance to shoot him up, but no, instead he's going to shoot Eclipse straight into the head. Headshot there onto Eclipse is enough to take him on down. 3 versus 2. Hyper takes a chunk of damage as well. Skies entries on in, finds a kill over onto Harper, and a second. He's on for a triple. Find the quad. No, the swing comes in from Sile, but Hyper is there by the skin of their teeth. DarkZero hang on in there.
I'm going to say it again, Ollie. Scrappy is the term to use this game. Both teams refusing to bow out to one another. DarkZero stay alive for another round. Woo! Cloud9 thought you had it. Thought that was going to be your round to win and your game to win. But no, DarkZero had something else to say about that one, Ollie. Wow, we move on to another round.
6-5 now. The potential for overtime is there, as DarkZero only need one more round to take us there. Cloud9, this is the most rounds they've gotten today. They've gotten themselves onto that match point. They've been close in all of their other games. Here and now is where they need to dig deep and step up. Now, that clutch that we just saw there from Skies in particular, whilst it's wonderful and it's brilliant to watch, how reliable is it? How repeatable is it? DarkZero have got fundamental problems that they need to solve to stop them from being in that position time after time. The game in this moment right now isn't the time to solve that problem, but they need to do something to put a little bit of a plaster on it in the meantime.
It's a two-man show right now for DZ, and it's Skies and Hyper, the only two right now who have a positive KD for DarkZero. NGR struggling big time. 2-10 for him right now. Ollie Eclipse 4-10. Right now, DarkZero are really praying that Skies and Hyper keep this momentum up in towards this next round. In terms of Cloud9, again, it's very similar. 4 players who are doing well, but you have that one standout that's really seeing them through, being Harper. Actually, 4 people on 8 kills for Cloud9. They're actually pretty damn even across the board.
Just so that no one watching at home thinks you're crazy, Dan.
I'm not crazy. Well,
it is worth mentioning we have it a rehost.
I am crazy, but not that kind of crazy.
We have it a rehost, so some of these numbers that you're seeing on the screen aren't exact, as there are kills that have happened before said rehost.
Listen to me, I'll keep you right.
But yeah, we do. Demo isn't losing his mind.
Unless you need directions, don't ask me.
Just
terrible with
of yet. DarkZero, a big round for them to keep themselves in this game. Bit of a slower start from them here as they're just doing the usual. Getting control of this top floor, attacking, reading. Top floor has been a big point of contention for DarkZero. It's somewhere that has cost them a lot of time over the course of this game. Yeah,
struggling to kind of get that entry in towards that top floor. Of course, you want to have that control for the vertical game that you can really punish a lot of the defenders. I love the Cloud9 setup. I love the addition of the Mira player inside of Train, has the vertical holes looking up, so if anyone tries to rush in through, as you can see, through that main breach, he'll be able to take him out. Quite rightly so. I think DarkZero fearing that and may look to actually aggress on towards that mid floor. But for the meantime, Nova's happy enough to just sit, and there it is. There's the aggression. Surprise Nova gave that one away.
Nova going for a cheeky C4 there off some intel, but Mint was there to capitalize on it. A kill onto MV Taylor as well. It's going to be enough to give a big advantage here to DarkZero. Top floor control has now been surrendered. The Vulcan shield not being kind to MV Taylor there, and seeing him out of this round. Sile, he's going to be on white stairs, but he is getting pressured from both sides as well, so it's time now to make an adjustment. Gets himself into the laundry, maybe looking to hop on up and get a little bit cheeky with an angle here. Static finds a response, does manage to take down NGR. Can he find the second? Yes, he grabs one onto Mint. Has he got the down over there as well? Eclipse, he is going to come in with a frag, but it is not enough. Static has gone massive, finding himself a triple before Skies finally shuts him on down. A 2 versus 1 now for Harper to be in, but Skies is just better. He's had a standout game, and he is going to stand up and say, not today, we are taking this all the way. We're going to overtime.
Skies, unbelievable. Again, if this man was not here for DarkZero, Cloud9 would have had a very easy victory today. Static did extremely well, but not good enough. Just, I mean, he was good, but not good enough compared to Skies.
The clutch factor on Skies is just a little bit too good today. He's really keeping DarkZero in this one. And that's going to be enough maybe to rally his team. A game that, I mean, let's be honest, it looked as though it was, at a time, Cloud9's game to lose. Now looks a little bit like it's been thrown into some uncertain waters. Now, the advantage, I guess, that Cloud9 have is that they start off on the defense, but with equal 3-3 splits for both sides throughout the course of this game, enough to lead us to an overtime. There is no real clear advantage here.
Okay. Overtime. Minimum 2 rounds will be played, and if needed, we will see a third round. DarkZero on the attack. Operator lineup. It's a fun one. We see a Ying be brought in. What do they have in store? I mean, Ollie, whenever this has been a team that has really struggled in terms of getting control of the bomb site, you know, we've looked across the board and seen how they've attacked the top floor twice now. It is a bit of a lost rush. Going in with barely any information, trying to flood and just storm away through. It has not worked for them. Cloud9 is there. Perhaps a Ying is what they're missing. Add more chaos to the chaos.
It's a strategy. Let's see if it pays off for them. Mint has been playing those sort of disruption-based operators throughout the course of this game. I think back to when they were on the defense, he was picking up the clash, you know, really trying to be a nuisance. Maybe it could be enough. And I mean, we've seen this round play out a couple of times now. It usually ends in DarkZero just sort of running to their doom as they flood into the bomb site. But maybe the Ying will be enough, as you say, Demo, to just cause that little bit extra disruption, cut off some of those angles from the side of Cloud9, and be enough for DarkZero to grab themselves a couple of kills.
Cloud9, staying up from below, a bit of action downstairs now as Nova takes a hefty amount of damage and Eclipse is hunting for him on that Nomad. The Nova quick enough to move away from that position. Harper there to give the cover. Now they can trot back upstairs, back to the safety of everyone else. And in DarkZero, they've done well. They've got rid of that early aggression that the Roamers can bring. And Envy Taylor out of nowhere. Quick peek of dreams for him. Eclipses off the board. And now Cloud9, they have the lead once more. This is where the Ying, it needs to be impactful, Ollie. It needs to be.
That Ying has to now make up for the fact that Eclipse has been taken down pretty early on there. Envy Taylor wiggling around that shield, really finding some success. A Toxic Babe canister, enough to just force Mint out of position for a moment. But he's going to be framing up and looking to make his way on through. There's drones now working in the site as well. All this is going to be feeding back to the players on DarkZero. Skies does have the diffuser. We've seen him think about attempting a plant here on this site before, but it's really just come down to sheer gun skill and angle, and crossfires from the side of Cloud9. Envy Taylor there going to fall to Hyper, so he does get taken out. Toxic Babe canister still not enough. Skies, you can't push through that just yet. I am afraid the Ying comes in. The Cantellas are tossed on out. It's going to be a flurry. Skies is looking to confirm this plant. Nobody on the side of Cloud9 in a position to do anything about it. And the kills for DarkZero. Hyper, he hits a triple kill, leaving Sile left in an impossible situation. DarkZero finally crack that upstairs attack. Demo, is that going to be enough for them?
Oh, it might just be Ollie. That Ying, phenomenal to disrupt Cloud9. The angle's being held. It doesn't matter if you're holding an angle if you cannot see it. Ying, very, very powerful. Even the smokes as well to accompany it was great from DarkZero. Sticking that defuse. Hyper played massive that round. Hyper just so reliable for DarkZero ever since he joined that roster. So reliable.
I mean, his reliability today has been questioned, but he is one of 2 players there that are on a positive rating, and he stepped up when it mattered there in the overtime. For the first time, Demo, now the pressure's back onto Cloud9. Up until this point, they've either been in the lead or it's been equal 6-6, and they've been in the lead for a good while now. DarkZero finally have a little bit of momentum, and if you think and recall back to the first time we saw this site, we saw it go quite convincingly to DarkZero. It was only when we saw it played a little bit later on and DarkZero started to change some things around that we saw Cloud9 really seeing some success here. So for these lineups, it's 50-50 downstairs in Kitchen at the moment.
Yeah, DarkZero, of course, had that great first time they went here, but the other times not so successful. Cloud9, very, very good at having that control in towards the late stage of the game. Let's see if they can replicate that and go for it once more. DarkZero line up exactly the same as what they've went for almost nearly every time. There was that one round where they went for a more aggressive standpoint with the Vigil and the Mute and the Mozzie, but this is more of their anchor-based lineup, so I doubt we'll see much room game.
Cloud9 typically, when attacking onto this site, have paid a lot of attention to the freezer hatch. They get in, get control, open up the freezer hatch, and then look to drop, and it tends to turn quite messy, honestly. There's plants being attempted, there's plants that in some rounds have gone down, notably, in fact we haven't seen them plant downstairs in this site, we have seen them attempt it though, but usually it just comes down to a sheer frag fest. Very unreliable, unpredictable, and no real way of telling which way it will go because it literally comes down to players hitting their shots.
Cloud9 into the top floor, as we know, with this setup from DarkZero. No roamers to worry about. Gives all of that access over to Cloud9. Maybe DZ banking on Cloud9, thinking they're going to go for a roam game. That wastes even more time, a bit of the mental check perhaps, but I think Cloud9 are onto that and realizing, yep, nobody's here. Envy_Taylor, get yourself in, open up that flooring and start landing your picks. But one thing that we have seen throughout the course of the setup for DZ is nobody plays in the actual bomb site.
No, all happy to hold in off-site locations and rely quite heavily on Yokai drones and Maestro Evil Eyes to try and deal with the plant or the attempted push. Sky's, of course, playing in his signature spot inside of Christmas. A deployable shield and a couple of ADSs, no doubt, there to keep him safe and allow him to challenge onto any players that are dropping that hatch. He's usually pretty successful in at least finding one frag, and providing he can get his Toxic Babe canister over his shield, he's usually pretty good at stopping the people from coming on in as well.
Seen it a few times, the Toxic Babe's missing, and it is an unfortunate circumstance where it does happen. Static tried a nade, but end up missing, didn't get anything from it, and I like that Cloud9 are trying to really pressure out Skies in that position. The smoke cannot be allowed to play there. He will shut you down if you do not respect his position. Envy_Taylor in and about, trying to look for any angles, but again, Envy_Taylor, nobody's home, nobody's inside of kitchen. Flash goes through as well, and now we'll see how Cloud9 want to approach this one. We hear a Toxic Babe, and oh, was that a miss? Or maybe just trying to smoke through the wall to try and stop anyone pushing down white stairs. The plant's going to come in now. The Twitch drone, it actually managed to nail the Maestro camera. There goes the Echo Drone. Nova, not quick enough on it. Finally, the Echo Drone is gone. Static open ups one, a 4 versus 5. DZ, they're in panic mode. Static, another and another one. Static sitting in the corner, picking up so many free kills. DEFUSER is down, and DZ have no idea what to do. Mint on the double window, shots fire past him. Envy_Taylor picks up Skies, and Mint has no chance. Cloud9 push it to round 15.
How did that plant go down there? There was everything in position to try and deny it. The Yokai drone, the intel, the Twitch drone coming in and destroying some of those Evil Eyes. All of that, along with Static going massive. I mean, look at him. He's on a shred of health at this point. He's won every single gunfight that he's been in. He's going to be tattered and bruised after that round.
Just cleaning the dishes. Just camping in the corner. That's all he's doing, and it's working. DZ. Just, again, another one of those rounds, Ollie, that Cloud9 look as if they have no chance of winning, and all of a sudden, bang, they've won the round.
I think it was 35 seconds or so when that plant initially started to go down there, so not the world amount of time. It was enough to be denied once by a Yokai drone, but then with that drone then getting taken out and another one either being destroyed or not in a position to be rotated in quick enough, and coupled with the fact there was pressure coming in from elsewhere because of the man count advantage that Cloud9 had, it was all enough for them to secure this max OT.
Harper being able to use that Twitch drone was massive. I think Cloud9 very well coordinated in that last stage, and just proven us again just how dominant they can be on their attacks. Okay, so now we're at the final round, Ollie, and we're back upstairs. This has been a hit or miss for DarkZero. Last time they played it, fair enough, it was successful. The Ying worked extremely well for them, but they don't have the Ying.
You got to ask the question. Why hasn't the Ying been brought here, Demo? Mint played the Ying exceptionally well last time. It was the disruption that was required to make their way on into the bomb site. That, and of course, a couple of kills coming in quite nicely as well.
Hyper, yep.
Eclipse was the opening death last time, so they didn't even have the man count. All they had was a couple of flashy kills and that Ying, and that was enough. That was all they based their round off, and it did the job. It got them the round. Now you've got to look at this and you've got to sit here and worry a little bit for them, because under these lineups, under these conditions, Cloud9 have been successful here every single time.
Similar setup again for Cloud9. That mirror window instead of bathroom looking on to pretty much the main avenue of attack for DarkZero. Right on through the balcony and towards the more default plant spot you'd like to go for. Skies, up the skylights, will open up that breach now, and look at Hyper in that same position he was once more. I don't know how much that has really worked for him in the past though, Wally. It's been, again, a hit or miss, and here comes a skylight drop. All of a sudden, DarkZero are in, and they're causing a nuisance for Cloud9. DarkZero, finally, the flood has came. How well can Cloud9 hold it at bay? Can they build the arc in time? Static behind this mirror window. Now he moves in towards white. The window repel is covering everything for DarkZero. Cloud9 are up against it. Both of the SMGs are stacked up, and DarkZero are tearing them limb from limb. Hyper finds another. Mint will now again try and secure the defuse. Harper has it all to do in the long angles there. MJR finally shows up where it's needed. DarkZero, they're in the building, Ollie.
DarkZero fought very hard there for that win against Cloud9. You've got to give commiserations to Cloud9 in that one. Such a hard-fought match, but DarkZero coming out there on top. How must Skies be feeling after that one, Demo? He put a shift in throughout the course of that game. He never faltered, left in difficult situations, unfavourable circumstances, and he came back fighting time and time again. And finally, his team joined him there in the maximum available round. Round number 15, DarkZero there, take the win.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Well, fortunately for you, we don't have to talk anymore. We've got some experts that are going to take this one off our hands. We're going to be back after a short break with Kixon and Intero to break that one down. Don't go anywhere.